friends, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about some of the books that I am intimidated to start. Now these are basically all fantasy series. Some of them are pretty long, and one of them unfortunately is unfinished. But then I do have one sci-fi. So without further ado, let's get started. The first book that I am intimidated to start is The Grace of Kings, which is the Dandelion Dynasty saga by Ken Liu. I have heard nothing but fantastic things about this series. I do know that based on some of the reviews I've read, that the first book is more of like a kind of a history book. So I think that is why I'm a little hesitant and intimidated to start reading it, because not that I don't like history, but I just remember reading some history books that kind of like bored me, and I guess I'm afraid that if I start reading this, I'm gonna get bored. But I feel like if I can push through this first novel and get into the rest of the series, that I'm going to absolutely love it. And I've actually been on an epic fantasy kick recently, so this might get moved up. Like, I enjoy my romantasy, my rom-coms, like all like those types, but for some reason the epic fantasy is like really hitting my interest right now. So potentially might move this up. This is only a 4-book series, so it's not as long as some of the other ones that I have in this stack. But yes, love the covers that I bought too, by the way. But yeah, I need to just get over my fear, guys, and read this series, because I'm sure I will be happy as soon as I start reading it. The next series is The Assassin's Apprentice, or the Farseer trilogy of Robin Hobb, and really basically everything in the realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. This, I think, is the shortest book in all of her books. And I also just know that if I read this and then I go to Ship of Magic, I'm gonna then have to buy the next series and then the next series. So I think part of me is putting this off because I know that I'm gonna love it so much, and I know that there's more books to buy. Because this is a long series, basically. I mean, you have, I think, 1, 2, 3, I want to, or 4. I think there's 4 series that are a trilogy and 1 that is a quartet in the realm of the Elderlings. Don't quote me on that. I'm going off of another YouTuber that I watched her entire progress, because she has read the entire series. So I think there's 4 trilogies and 1 quartet. I know there's 1 quartet, but I can't remember if it's 4 trilogies or 3 trilogies. I have 2. I think it's 4. But just literally, I'm intimidated just because of how much time this is going to take me, and also the amount of books that I'm going to need to get, because I will get all of them and they will go on my shelf. But I need to just start. That is the first step. Just start. The next series I'm intimidated to start, and I believe it's just because there are 9 books, and that is Joe Abercrombie's First Law trilogy. And basically the 3 standalones that come after this, and then the trilogy that comes after this, because they all take place in the same world. Now, I did read my first Joe Abercrombie book this year, and that was his last year, and that was his recent release of The Devils. And I enjoyed that. I really did. I think some of it took me a while to read, and I think it was just because the way Joe Abercrombie writes, but I think it's the type of vocabulary that he uses, I think, to describe scenes. It makes you like go back and read just to make sure you understand. Just because he does articulate so well that like you just have to be like, okay, did I read that right? Is that really what that means? um but his characters too are phenomenal. They're very fleshed out. They are like literally all different, and the way he combines them together is just perfection. So I know that these books are going to be fantastic, and they are definitely character driven. These are not plot driven books. So if you're not a character driven reader, then these will be difficult to get through. I am more plot driven than I am character driven, but if a character is written well and it also drives the plot along, then I enjoy them. And I think this will be something that I really, really like. I need to start it. And I don't know when I'm going to do that because, I've got so many books and not enough time. The next series, and I think this is a 10-book series. And I have 3. I have not committed to buying all of them yet. I will. But that is the Malazan series by Steven Erikson. This, I have heard, is very difficult to read. And it's just because you are literally thrown into the world and you will be confused, is what I have been told. Like, you literally will go into the series and you will know nothing, and you will continue to know nothing throughout the series, but you are expected to know everything without really explanations. At least that was the recent review that I saw. But I did see that someone that I watched, she also was reading this series, and it was taking her a while to get through as well. And it's just because there's so many POVs in this series, and it keeps getting added, and you're in a realm that you don't know. And I'm pretty sure, oh nope, there is a map. There's multiple maps. So like you're gonna have to reference the map. I think he's got a glossary in here. Oh yeah. I mean, he's got, yeah, so like as you read, you're gonna have to flip back to the front few pages to just make sure you continue to understand what's going on. So this is like partly thinking that this is going to be like a research like book. Because when you research, you got to flip through all kinds of different books, you got to reference this and reference that. So I think that's what's putting me off from reading this right now. And then also 10 books. And also the third book is a mass market paperback. I cannot find the floppy book, and it makes me very upset. I hate mass market paperback. But I'm hoping that will be the only one. And yes, unfortunately, it will look crappy on my shelf. But I saw somebody selling this size paperback of the third one for like $200. I'm not doing that. So I guess I'm going to have a mass market paperback on my shelf, and it's okay. I will live. It's fine. But I digress. The next book is A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I have all of the books that are published. I know he says he's working on the 6th one, but we'll see. I'm not hopeful that he will finish it. Will I read these at some point? Yes, because I mean, I watched the HBO series and it was absolutely fantastic. Now, a lot of people who have read the books hated season 8, but that was because season 8 took a completely different turn from what the books were doing, from my understanding. And granted, season 8 was the weakest of the seasons, but it was the last season and they didn't have any more source material, so they kind of had to make it up as they went because they needed it to end they needed it to end. So I haven't started this because it's not finished, and I'm a little worried that it won't ever be finished. I really hope it is, but I don't know. So to be honest, that's why I'm pushing these off. I need to just read them. But at the same time, I might just read these when I know that there's not going to be a 6th one or a 7th one. We'll see. George, if you're watching this, please finish the series. Your fans will be so excited and so happy to get a completed Game of Thrones from your mind. I've heard the book. The books are fantastic. Now for the sci-fi one, Dune. I mainly haven't started this because it was written in 1984. Was that when it was originally published? No, I'm sorry, 1965. Okay, it was copywritten by 1965, but it was published in hardcover in 1984. So it was written in the 1990s, or in the 1900s, later in the 1900s. I struggle sometimes with reading books that are older, and I don't know why. But I also am not a big sci-fi reader, and I think it's just because I haven't really tried it. But to me, sci-fi and fantasy are very similar because sci-fi, you go out into space, it is more futuristic, it's got different kinds of technology, aliens, all kinds of stuff. So it does have that fantasy aspect, but they call it sci-fi. So I should enjoy this. There should be no reason why I shouldn't enjoy it. And the new movie that they've done off of this, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So I have all of the Dunes in the new covers. So I just need to start it at some point, because I'm sure I will like this, because it takes you into a completely different world. So it is like fantasy, but just high tech, really. I mean, Brandon Sanderson's getting into that sci-fi fantasy genre now. He's moving his Cosmere that direction. So, and I love everything that Brandon Sanderson has written. So if I like his writing and he's moving into that fantasy sci-fi direction, sci-fi is basically fantasy, just slightly different, So I just need to start it. I think I will absolutely love it. I just need to get over my fear and just do it. Then the next series I need to read is the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. This is not the first book. My first book is tucked away in my TBR shelf and it's behind a bunch of books. So I just grabbed this one because this one is more accessible to me. I am putting these off because I've heard, since this is a translated work, sometimes the writing doesn't make sense, but I just need to read them because I've also heard that people really, really like them. And I mean, this is like kind of like a classic. I mean, the guy is from Poland. And these are the new covers of The Witcher. I went ahead and splurged and bought the new covers. I didn't have the original books anyway, and I saw these and I really, really liked them. So I just need to buckle down and start them, at least maybe read one like a month or something like that. But I enjoyed the Witcher series on Netflix. Not quite, we haven't watched season 4 yet because I'm a little upset Henry Cavill left, but it's fine. But yeah, mainly just because I'm afraid that I won't enjoy it because of the translated works, but hopefully it'll be fine. So yeah, I'll just have to let you know when I start reading it. Then the last one is Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn by Tad Williams. This first book is The Dragonbone Chair, and this is a I think it's a 3-book series, but the special editions that I have, the third one was so long they had to cut it into a part 1 and a part 2. And yes, these are big books. Like, this is a huge first book. Huge. And this is a fantasy classic as well. Tad Williams is a well-known fantasy writer. So I'm in epic fantasy right now, and I think what I need to do is just start reading more epic fantasy, and sprinkle in other things right now because that is what's holding my interest. And I need to start doing that. I need to read some of these and get educated in these stories. But yeah, I think the reason why I'm intimidated by this is because this thing is a chunker, and all of the books in this series are a chunker. So, I mean, this is heavy, guys. This is probably 5 pounds, if not more. But yeah. Well, guys, there you have it. Those are all the books that I am currently intimidated right now to read. Hopefully I can get past that and start some of these this year. That at least is my goal. Let me know in the comments down below what books or series are on your TBR that you're intimidated to start. I would absolutely love to know. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and be good people.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust.